Are you sick and tired of your investments taking forever to grow? I'm going to show you a new platform today that promises 3 times the result of the S&P 500 in just 20 months. Stay tuned so I can break down the numbers with you and show you exactly how to maximize your return. Hey guys, so let's go over how to make an investment here on Gatsby. I looked at a couple of other sites as well, so like Realty Mogul, for instance, which is definitely an interesting platform, but didn't have the returns that I was looking for. Fundrise, I've been with them before, and I think they offer more accessible investments. They're not for accredited investors, so if you can obviously come in here and get started. I didn't really make a lot of money with these guys at all when I was with them back in like 2017, 2018. And then Cadre I thought was actually interesting. And when I actually signed up, and you can see they were purchased by Yield Street, which is another company that does a similar type of investment. When I actually logged in, they want to hold your money for like 3 or 4 years. Gatsby, on the other hand, you can see they want to hold it for a very short period of time. So if you want to learn all of the ins and outs on how to analyze these properties, of course you can. The other thing that you can do is take a screenshot and then go into ChatGPT and let's paste the screenshot. These best investment. Now, this is a very vague question, so I'm going to teach you a little something for you to ask specifically. But let's see what it says first. Okay, so it kind of did get to the crux of what I wanted to say. It organized them based on random factors, it seems like. But down here it did say, look, if you want the highest ROI, it's the longest time frame. The way I look at it with Gatsby, for instance, if you go in here, this is 17 months, which I believe is the shortest one right now. Yeah, and then this one is 20.8, so you're looking at a 5% bump for 3 months. It's like doesn't even compare, right? 3 months, an additional 5%. There's no reason why anyone would look at it unless they're just very bullish on this one. Okay, so this is what the investment looks like. And I'm going to look to invest, put in the numbers for 25,000, calculate. So you see that the net ROI is 30%, and this is minus their fees. Their fees are 40%. So after they take out their fees, there still should be about a 30% net return for me. And it tells me what that's going to be right there. And this is my investment plus the money that they're going to give me back. So at the end of the, what was it, 20 months? Yeah, there it is, 20 months. They should pay me back $32,000. Now, if you want to look at this in more detail, you can go back to our handy dandy investment guide. This video is not about how you analyze deals. I'm showing you how quickly, not necessarily how to actually look at everything in detail. The other thing you can do too, so I actually called them and I spoke with one of their agents. So let me upload these files. And I'm going to ask it a couple of specific questions around that. Give me a sec. Okay, so I have my prompt. I'm going to put this in here. It's going to ask it a couple of different things. The most important things for me is obviously the financial analysis, and looks at the cap rate, the cash on cash return, the NOI, and the gross rent multiplier. I'll explain what those things are here in a second. But by the way, you can also ask ChatGPT, like, hey, explain to me what are these terms? And it will tell you right off the bat. What Gatsby does is it buys these properties. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it in detail. So it's going to buy this property, and it's going to, because of the zoning change, it's going to, there's just one picture, I guess. It's going to change it into a multi-family. And you can see here, it's looking to build 4 different units. There's probably 1, 2, and either 1, 2, and there's 3 stories in the back, or there'll probably be access somewhere. So these are brand new properties. So one of the things that it mentioned, they'll mention a rental demand in a specific neighborhood. This is common with everything. This I probably would do a little more research on. This matters and it doesn't at the same time because they have a profitability metric that they want to hit. The other thing you can do too, so I'm going to read through all this, is 10 the best. Okay, so while I was pulling that up, I'm looking at a different investment because I want to compare it to something else. So I took a couple more screenshots this time around, and I'm going to give it all this information for me if I can type today. There we go. So let's see what it comes back with. Now I'm just reading through their analysis. This is nice. This is good too. And then for this one, because I included the exit strategy portion, it has the rent comps. So it was able to give me a full analysis on this one. So the other thing I want to do is I want to do this with one more property, which I want to do it with this one. I'm just looking at the one with the highest ROI because I don't have a specific exit time window in mind. So I'm going to give it these metrics, and then the exit strategy. Same thing I gave on the other properties. Property expenses and this. Okay, so property 40, and let's see what it comes back with. So here's what I came back with for the third property. I think you guys get an idea on what this is actually doing and the important things that it's showing us. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask it which one has the highest probability of success, and then include the metrics in a table for me. So it'll take all the information that it put together and it will put them side by side into a table so that we can actually compare location, address, of course, estimated sales price. There's the return. This is some good insight, right? So profitability, property 3, recommendation, conservative sales price estimate, strong potential income. Safest investment is property 1, slightly safer due to a lower investment and more of a conservative rent profile. Interesting. So let's go back into these properties. I'm going to make a decision here on which one I'm going to actually invest in, and then we'll go through the actual investment process together on Gatsby to see what that's like. Okay, so he believes that this one is the safest. So let's run a calculation on this. It's crazy that they charge 40% and they're still estimating the investor still gets 29. So it wants me to materially sign this. I already went through all of this, guys, so I'm not doing it on the fly. There we go. Okay, so once I put in my license information, it's asking me to wire the money, which I will do from my bank account, and I'll come back and see what happens here. But that's how you invest in Gatsby into a property. This video is not sponsored, guys. I just looked at a lot of these different platforms and I decided that this one was what gave me what I was looking for, right? Which was, it was an accredited investor platform and it was a high ROI, and they didn't lock up my money for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So obviously you have other options as well, and you can invest in real estate if you want some lower barriers to entry, stuff like Fundrise, or obviously REITs and ETFs that are available at pretty much any brokerage like Robinhood, M1 Finance, which is what I use, and a couple of other ones. Okay guys, so it's been about, what, 45 days since okay, so what we have is, I think we had the before pictures, as you can see here, but now we got some architectural designs. There's a lot more of them, so you can kind of see how this is going to look. It looks pretty good, actually. And then we also started construction. So they started leveling the place. They brought some dirt. Gatsby does a really good job of actually just updating their folks. I will say that. You know, they purchased it, they kind of designed it, they got the permits, and then they're about 6% done with construction. You can kind of see where this is. So they started grading, and then they're going to start foundation work, go into framing, electrical, etc. We do not have any updates on, so under foundational work, there's a dig, there's the plumbing, and then the rebar and whatnot. We don't have any of that. The financials remain exactly the same, so we're hoping for roughly a 29.7 ROI, and it's already been a decent amount of time. It's been, here we go. So it's been about 3 months since I've invested in them. So anyways, 17 months to go. That is the update. I will keep you guys posted. If you want more updates like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram. There is a company that I actually like more than Fundrise, and this is fractional real estate investing. Same thing. The biggest difference with this one is that they tokenize these properties, and you're essentially buying it with crypto. So you put money into your wallet, convert it into crypto, and then you use crypto to buy these properties. The biggest, I think, plus side on this versus Fundrise for me is that you can invest with a lot less money. So you can see there's tokens for a property here at $48, $41. We can also look at, well, let's look at an example. Well, this is a commercial property. It's been around for a while. I don't know why it says new listing. I've been looking at this for a while, actually, like 6 or 7 months, if I'm not mistaken. It gives you a pretty good idea here on all of the numbers that you would essentially need, and it also gives you a calculator. So if you spent, you know, let's call it, can I get to no, I can't do $5,000. So if you get, you know, close to $5,000, assuming the same appreciation, same cash on cash return, then this is how much money you would make on this specific property if the market holds up and trends, you know, as it has been. So total investment in 30 years, total return in 30 years is 19,000, in 5 years 7,000. Now this is not, you know, bad in any way, shape, or form. If you were to buy, you know, this property outright, so what's the value of the property? 2.8 at 20%. So it won't actually allow it. So let's just assume we could do it 10%. and you have an idea. 4.4. Yeah. If you were to like actually buy this property with 10% down payment, this is what your ROI would be, which is actually, you know, not bad, but it's not great on a, you know, $250,000 investment. So you can look at other properties that have, you know, better yield. Of course, as you get more and more specific, the more expensive the property is going to be. These are insane. The other cool thing that Lofty does is it does allow you to sell tokens. So your liquidity on this versus Fundrise is infinitely better. You see that this property, one of the reasons that the cash flow is so high is because it's an Airbnb property. It actually looks gorgeous. Look at me doing free advertising here for Lofty. I love the company though. I've talked to the founders, I think a couple times, but the other thing that they do that is interesting, I'm going to pause this for a second. So Lofty does allow you to vote on what's going on with specific property. And then the other really cool thing about Lofty is that they pay their rents daily. I'll give you an example. So you literally earn the rent to date. You get daily rent payouts that are added to your account. Now, you're buying fractional real estate and you're getting, you know, 1/30th of the daily rent, of the monthly rent. It's not like you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars here unless you invest a ridiculous amount. But you do get it, you know, every single day you can kind of see your portfolio climbing. So it's pretty interesting and a good way to dip your feet into this water. So anyways, you guys check it out. If you're already using Lofty or another platform, let me know what you're using. I'd love to check it out. You can see that I got this update back in June, so a couple of weeks ago, and it tells us exactly what's going on. So this investment is not going great. It's a multi-unit, obviously a triplex. And the first tenant, it owes a balance of 10K, the second one of 9K. You know, these guys aren't going to court. There's been an eviction order. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going properly. Meanwhile, we are, as a collective, everyone who bought tokens into this property, we have to keep paying the loan and keep paying the mortgage, etc. While these guys are not paying rent. So it's at the point where like it's going to end up costing money and we're not going to make the return on it.
If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up, comment, maybe a subscribe, who knows. But if you enjoy videos just like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. God bless you guys. See you on the next one.